and welcome to Prudent Media. My name is Sachin Chatte and on this program we take a look at the latest releases every week. Today we will take a look at the boxing film, which is a spin-off of Rocky called Creed 3, and the other one is the Palme d'Or winner at Cannes Film Festival, a film called Triangle of Sadness. First, let's take a look at Triangle of Sadness. The Swedish director Ruben Östlund has won a rare double, the Palme d'Or, the top prize given at the Cannes Film Festival, for two consecutive films. First in 2017 for The Square, and then this film, Triangle of Sadness, in 2022. This is also his first English film and it has received a much-deserved nomination for Best Picture, Best Director and Best Screenplay at the Academy Awards this year. But all the accolades aside, Östlund knows what to tell and how to tell it in a remarkable way. A social commentary and a satire of sorts about society, Triangle of Sadness is wickedly brilliant. Few people understand the world, the frailty of people living in it, and how to depict it on screen like Ruben Östlund. When talking about society and class in cinema, it is a tightrope walk, but Östlund does it with tremendous confidence. Also, there is no preaching about what his views are. Instead, he just reflects on them with a dash of humor, occasional irony, and sometimes in a scathing manner, just like he did when he took on the art world in The Square. The more expensive the brand gets, you start to look down on your consumer, goes a line early in this film. Told in 3 acts, the title, Triangle of Sadness, is derived from the area on the forehead between the eyebrows. Yaya, played by the late Charlie Dean, and Carl, played by Harris Dickinson, are models and a couple. For her, it is more out of convenience because together they are an influencer couple on social media. In the opening act, we see them bickering about who should pick up the tab in a restaurant. In his view, it is not about the money, it's about both being equal. Now, he is not able to play the role of a typical male. The second chapter, the more interesting one, is about them vacationing on a fancy yacht, a free cruise that they get thanks to their influence on social media. In one scene, she is posing for a picture with a spoon of pasta dangling near her mouth. When an old man asks her if she's not going to eat it, she says, "No, I'm gluten intolerant." It was just a picture for social media and the film makes constant, incisive comments about the times that we live in. The other characters on this lavish yacht range from the very rich to filthy rich. There's a Russian oligarch who has made a fortune from the fertilizer business. "I sell shit," he proudly proclaims more than once. There's an elderly British couple called Winston and Clementine, the same name as the former British Prime Minister and his wife. They have made money from selling products that have been employed in upholding democracy all around the globe. Now, what is this product? It's the hand grenade. Now, earlier, they were dealing with personal exploding device, also known as the landmine. Now, they may be making deadly products, but otherwise, they're very nice people. That is also the point of the characterization in the film. All are very rich, but they are not necessarily evil as certain films depict them. The pièce de résistance, as they call it, is the scene with the Marxist captain, played by Woody Harrelson in a superb cameo, and the Russian oligarch, when they read out quotes from Reagan, Chomsky, Thatcher, and others about capitalism and socialism, while the boat is rocking and everyone else is sick and throwing up. The final act on the island is not in the same league as the first two, but that's a relatively small complaint. It still holds fort on its own as a few survivors are tested on a remote island. A small-time manager on the boat, a Filipina lady played by Dolly Di Dion, becomes the boss of the pack because she's the only one with survival skills. Apart from the razor-sharp writing, there is so much to admire here, particularly the editing and the camera work by Frederick Wenzel. When the film premiered at Cannes, the opinion was divided. Some absolutely loved it, while some loathed it. One can clearly see why they loved it, but I have no clue whatsoever why others loathed it. I absolutely love this film and I'm going to go with 4.5 out of 5 stars for Triangle of Sadness. The other release of the week is Creed 3. The Rocky spin-off Creed started in 2015, and while little was expected of it, it has been consistent when it comes to delivering some wholesome entertainment. During a time when sequels are an ordeal, and I'm looking at you, Marvel, Creed 3 delivering the goods is quite an achievement. Incidentally, this franchise was started by Ryan Coogler, who also made Black Panther, the last MCU film that had something to talk about. Even though there is no Sylvester Stallone in this third installment, he was present in the first two, mind you, you don't really feel his absence thanks to the tight writing and Michael B. Jordan's direction that sticks to the basics and keeps it very simple. Even if you don't know who was Apollo Creed or Rocky for that matter, it doesn't really make a difference because this story stands on its own. With just about every character being involved in the world of boxing, it opens with a bout followed by a tragedy involving two young adults. Cut to the present where Adonis Donnie Creed, played by Michael Jordan, has retired from professional boxing and is focusing on his family. That's his wife Bianca, played by Tessa Thompson, and his daughter Amara, played by Myla Davis Kent. He is still involved with boxing because he runs a gym that trains boxers for the big fights. Life is pretty much a breeze when a figure from the past comes back and throws his life out of gear. Damien, played by Jonathan Majors with a much better role and performance than the antagonist in the recent Ant-Man, is his childhood friend who shows up after having spent years in jail, and straight away he wants to get in the boxing ring. Following a certain turn of events, Creed is forced to don his gloves and fight just to prove a point. While the screenplay is formulaic, the treatment is such that it works in a positive manner. The film has no lofty ambitions except to engage and entertain you, and that works. Damien's character is a bit black and white, and fortunately not much time is spent delving into it. Jonathan Majors plays that role brilliantly. Right from the helplessness to the cockiness, he is very impressive. In a sports film, the action also plays an important role, and it is also something that we always take for granted. This film builds the tension in the ring during the bouts, and even though you are certain how it will end, it is filmed in a way that will have your attention. Apart from playing the lead role, Jordan also makes an assured debut behind the camera and lands a few perfect punches. I'm going to go with 3.5 out of 5 stars for this new film which is all about boxing called Creed 3. Well, that's what I thought of the films that were released this week. Do let us know what you think. Do write into us. Our address is features@prudentmedia.in. And I'll be back with you next week with more movie reviews. Till then, it's goodbye from me.